me get these microphones sorted. Let me get everything all into place here. We are here. It's full-time Devils. It's an FA Cup win. It is against Tranmere. But, we'll... the doom and gloom of what has been a United fan over the last couple of weeks, you'll take a little cup run at the minute. Obviously, a lot of defenders getting on the score sheet. We'll get into your calls for the next half an hour about maybe the positives you want to share about the game. Is it just papering over any cracks? Are you still worried about stuff? Give us a call, 0345 111 7625. The number should be along the bottom of your screen here. I'm Joe. This is our kid. All right.
Mate, we're through to the next round of the FA Cup, and all things considered, if we are going to have any chance of winning the silverware this season, I think the FA Cup is probably our best chance, because I can't see us going through against City next week. So we got a favourable draw, could go on and have a decent run in the FA Cup. But it was the scorers today, though, who got on the score sheet. If you look like Maguire got his first one, yeah. Lingard, Phil Jones, not scored a goal for United in 6 years. That was from Niles start out there. Diego Dalot as well. So there was some good performances. We have to take it into the perspective that we were playing Tranmere, but you can only play who's in front of you. Good result to go into the City game.
It's all about your calls now. You can chat about the game, or you can chat about whatever you want to chat about. Obviously, we're here to talk about Manchester United for the next half an hour. If you want to get something off your chest that we haven't been here for another week. So if you want to get something off your chest, let's talk about this. Now is your chance on Full-Time Devils with thousands watching. Let's go to Sam in America. How you doing, Sam?
Hi, Sam.
I'm good. Good time watching United up in the mountains. A brilliant performance today.
So whereabouts are you, Sam? In the mountains, did you say?
Still in Virginia, just a little further out west.
Oh, wonderful.
Nice.
Now, I know you often watch it with the supporters group. Is that right? Am I correct?
Yeah, that's back home in Washington, D.C., but I do go there quite often, when I have the time. So.
And I'm guessing the mood might slightly be better in that supporters group with today's result. But we can't get too ahead of ourselves, Sam. So what are you making of the result as a whole?
Yeah. So, it's I think, it definitely lightens things up. We had four guys going kind of through a rough patch: Dalot, Jones, Lingard, and Maguire, and seeing them get on the score sheet, it definitely it has to feel good for them, and it brings a little more confidence. And also, the younger players, seeing Greenwood, but more importantly, Charlton and Williams coming into the game. Yes, we were already 6-0 up and had control, but to be so proficient, against a professional side, it shows, potential for them, and it shows promise, that they will, have that ability to develop if we do decide to send them out on loan. But like you said, Arthur, it would be a nice little run for silverware, the FA Cup. But at the same time, we do have our eyes set, on top four if we can manage it. But it's worrying, with how crowded the fixture list is, and how things have gone in January and where our squad depth is at. But it was a nice little positive to take from today.
Yeah. How positive are you for top four? If you think that, do you think we're still within a shout of it, or do you think it's, if we don't invest, that we've got a chance?
Well, you've always got a shot at it if you're only 2 games, 6 points off of it. But Chelsea looked a little weak, as well as all of the other teams that are on the outside looking in, and even fourth place. So it's I think, yes, we still got a shot, but if there's any cup that we should be prioritizing, I know I say this all the time, it's probably the Europa League, but at the minute, obviously a little trophy from the season would be a positive.
Yep, definitely. Sam, looking to start the show off, always does. Make sure you give us a call, 0345 111 7625. The phone lines are chocker, so if you can't get through, we'll try and get you through over the next couple of minutes. We're here for half an hour, so we've got plenty of time to have a chat with you. Thomas is on the line. How you doing, Thomas?
Hi, Thomas.
All right, lads.
Yeah, very good. Let's chat about United then, Thomas. How was that?
They were all right.
They were all right.
They were all right. Yeah, this is best as we're getting, isn't it? We're all right.
Yeah, but look at Tranmere. Whenever are we going to play them in Premier League or
Yeah. I wish we could play in week in.
I wish, we could play at the top of the league. But I get what you're saying there. You can't get too ahead of yourselves. Because we got a bit of a reality check. Obviously, you beat Tranmere 6-0, and I worry that Ollie's the kind of manager who take that on, and really see the positives. But then you've got a reality check midweek against City. Obviously, then Wolves, who've been such a team for us that were hard to beat, and then you go to Chelsea. So you've got games that can really bring this squad back down to earth. Is that what you're worried about?
Well, I think it'll happen. I mean, you look at where, say, Manchester City are playing since, like, we played them last time, when we beat them in the 2-1 at the Etihad. You look at them now, they're scoring freely. It's as if Manchester City have turned over a new leaf, whereas... And then you look at, say, things like Wolves and that, the way that they're against Liverpool. And then you look at, say, Chelsea and that. How are we going to beat these teams with some of the players that we've got in there?
You would have thought maybe in January it could have been an opportunity to strengthen, but that is looking just so unlikely now with 5 days to go.
Well, things have happened in shorter times, haven't they?
Yeah, but it shouldn't be left this late though. I think that's a major frustration across most United fans. It's just we've got 5 days left and we've not got anybody in yet.
Predictions for the... Go on then, sorry.
Yeah, go on.
No, you go.
It shouldn't take a whole window to decide what positions you need and what players you need.
Yeah.
Because it should already be known who your targets are and everything. Should already be contacting agents, clubs, everything, months in advance.
Yeah, 100%.
You look at say Liverpool. They bought that, Minamino, whatever his name is.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even buy him when the window were open.
Yeah, they already knew that was their target.
That's obviously months in advance.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at it, you look at, say, Ed Woodward, and you look at sporting director, which we haven't got. You look at, say, Liverpool, you look at City, they've got 2 or 3 sporting directors. And it's not even a case of you need to know what you're doing. It's plain and simple what we need.
Yeah.
But personally, lads, I'm going to be real honest with you. I don't think Solskjaer will last until the end of the season. I think they'll have enough. They'll have had enough like they did with Mourinho. I think it's quite clear he's out of his depth and in his players.
Mm-hmm.
Because you look at it, say, we're getting Bruno Fernandes, the deal's on, the deal's off. Solskjaer doesn't come out in a press conference and openly say, oh yeah, we're linked with this player, we're trying to buy him and everything. He's very calm with his approach, and I think it's more of what's happening behind the scenes than what you see in person. And when you look at him at, say, the Burnley press conference, he looks broken.
Yeah, he looks like a... I know what you mean by that. It does look broken.
So I think, really, and I've looked at, say, some news articles and everything, and I've looked at what people are saying and everything, and you look at, say, other social media. Whenever we lose a massive run of games, like we lose, say, Liverpool, we lose Burnley, yeah, we might win today, but then we might go on Wednesday and lose to City and Wolves and Chelsea. I think, really, you need to be looking at a higher person who's got that stature and who's got that pedigree. I know you look at, say, a lot of people say Pochettino and what's he won and that, but when you look at it, he's had the time at Spurs to build a team. Why aren't we giving the managers time? And I know people say Jose Mourinho. You look at Jose Mourinho and Pep Guardiola over the last 25 years, what they've won. Doesn't matter where they've been, yeah, they've always had money at them teams, but they've been able to build something where they can win league titles. And you look at Jose Mourinho, one of the best managers in the world for what he's won. How can a manager like that fail?
Yeah,
got to be higher up. It's got to be higher up. Thomas, you're meant to speak to you, mate. Wonderful to have your call. We're going to go from Thomas to Wayne. How you doing, Wayne? You all right, mate?
Hi, Wayne.
Yeah, very well, thanks, gents.
Good to speak to you.
I was looking at the formation today. We're obviously playing 3 at the back.
Yeah.
He's obviously not really liked. What I noticed today more than anything is the amount of shots that we had from outside the box.
Yeah, and that's something that we've been lacking, isn't it, really?
Yeah. I think when you look at sort of like the teams that we've played and we've tried to walk the ball in the box, so
yeah,
you never know. I've got a feeling that he might start with 3 at the back at Man City. I've just got a feeling.
We've got nothing to lose there, though, have we? I suppose. I think most people expect us to go out, so we might as well go out there attack with an attacking team.
Yeah, what would you do, Wayne? What would be your tactic?
Me, I think I'd try and buy Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
I'll try and buy.
Get him started before Wednesday. Could be a good debut, couldn't it?
Just get as a new team. Yeah. But just getting back on, we've been speaking today, a lot of us, we've had a pint or two in the pub, a lot of Man United fans going, and what they were saying to me was that Woodward, the Glazers, Ollie, and all these sort of things, they're actually now in a situation where they can't come out and speak what they really think.
Yeah.
If you look at all the old guard of the '92, you never hear them coming out now, do you, and saying, apart from Rio Ferdinand did the other day, I think he had a goal, and Paul Scholes, but do you think as United fans now that because we've been spoilt for the last 20 odd years under Fergie, that because we're having a really bad run in the last 6 years that we've been a little bit ungrateful?
I don't think so. I think it's the manner in which we've sort of fell from the position that we were in. I think most United fans could take with being in a bad way. It's just that we're aware of how much money's actually been leached out of the club by the Glazers. I think that's the frustrating part. And you see like people like Liverpool and City, whose owners are actually funneling money into the club. We're on the opposite side, so I think that's where they feel the injustice is. And I'm just speaking for myself here. I can take United playing bad, but it's when they're actually being robbed off the pitch. That's the frustrating part.
I understand totally. I mean, you look at sort of chairmen around the country, don't you? They're putting money into clubs, and they're taking it out. But I was even looking at a journalist the other day, and he asked Ollie a straight question, and I thought it was one of the best questions I've ever heard anybody dare say anything. He says, "Why is it that Manchester City can go out and spend 50 million here on fullbacks, 20 million here, 30 million, 40 million, and get 3 or 4 players in, and we can't do that?"
What was
and
the answer?
Didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
Ollie's answer was this: well, we're doing things in a different way. We're not prepared to do that. It beggars belief, doesn't it? Really, when you think he must know that his hands are tied. I mean, I don't think he's the right man for the job. In fact, to be honest with you, I'd be quite very, very surprised if he lasts till the end of the season, gents. But you've also got to appreciate and respect that he has had his hands tied behind his back. More players have gone out than come in. Yeah,
he's in a difficult position in that I don't know how many employees have actually gone onto live camera and started slagging off the boss. We'd be all out to the Dole office, wouldn't we, pretty quick?
It is tricky, but it's also tricky when you're in that kind of a role where you're a club legend in a way. So you've got that sort of connection with the fans just before you even took the role. So what's difficult? I can see Ollie's getting a lot of stick, and I think we all want to try and crack him. Do you know what I mean? We always want to try and sort of break the fourth wall with him, because we know what he's doing is pretty much a show now, because he can't really come out and say bad stuff about his bosses. He can't really talk about the stuff that's going wrong in the club, because at the minute he's living his dream, and his dream is to be in charge of Manchester United. It's not going the way he wants it to go, but you don't know what the promises are that these big bosses might have made to him. Stick it out to the summer, then you get loads of money. Do you know what I mean? It's like he might be fed these lies and these just hopes and dreams. Just get through the season, Ollie, and then in the summer we'll feed you with all these resources. So you don't really know why Ollie's doing this, but unfortunately he's in a situation where he's such a club legend, but at the minute it's just not working for him. And obviously we had such an incredible spell at the start when he took over. But now as United fans are pulling out our hair, the results aren't going our way, and who do we blame? Unfortunately, Ollie's the man who has to sit in front of a press conference before and after games, and he's the one that's got to answer to the questions that journalists throw at him. Not the bosses, not the players. Well, some players obviously do, but they don't get the grilling that the managers. It comes with the territory, but I really think he's fine with one hand tied behind his back. But I do kind of get what you're saying. In terms of Wayne, is he the man for the job? Will he last the end of the season? I just think he's doing Woodward and the Glazers a good deal at the minute by keeping his mouth shut and just by going along with things. He's less of a headache than any other manager was. Yeah. Van Gaal was probably a headache. I bet Mourinho was definitely the biggest headache the Glazers. But Ollie's not an headache. Let's just keep Ollie in charge of the club, because we read a lot about what the Glazers have done to their NFL team. That NFL team that the Glazers own are a team that will get nowhere near the Super Bowl. Absolutely. I forgot the name of them now.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay. And they just get by, make the Glazers money, and hopefully we'll never become like that, because that's what they've done over there, and that's what the real fight is against now, I think. But Ollie is kind of the man who can help him do that. But like I say, a bit of a reality check over the next couple of games, Wayne. For you, you say he might not last to the end of the season. When do you think that the pinnacle might be? When do you think the climax of Ollie's United career might be?
Well, I think it's going to be end of season, and I've always said to myself, there's no smoke without fire. And Pochettino, there seems to be a lot of paper talk, whether you can believe it all and you can't, but there does seem to be that little bit of Pochettino says he needs this, that and other. And so maybe that's what the plan is to obviously move Ollie on next year and say, look, thank you so much for everything you've done. You've cut the wage bill. Yeah. You've done what you've got to do. You've took all the slack for us. And,
but you never know, there might be another role. He might be offered another role at the club or something like that, Ollie.
Yeah, considering all that, because he's played ball with the Glazers, he's not really pissing on his chips, is he? No. So I think they might move him upstairs. But what I want to know about you, Wayne, and all the rest of the people who are watching today is this planned protest for next Saturday against Wolves when United fans are talking about walking out of Old Trafford on the 58th minute. A, if you are a match going red, are you planning on doing that? B, what else what do you think about that? Do you think it'll make any difference to the Glazers? Is it a big enough statement?
Well, it makes a statement in terms of getting media coverage on it, and then obviously the pressure's on the Glazers then, isn't it? That, it's never been happening at Old Trafford, really, walkouts like that and stuff. So it does put that sort of pressure on them. But gents, let's be honest about it. I mean, what would somebody need to buy Manchester United? What, $6 billion?
A lot of money.
You're talking a lot of money. It's not like you've got somebody like Mike Ashley. We wouldn't want him as a chairman. What I mean is somebody like a self-made millionaire that could go out and buy Man United. No, it would have to be somebody from Saudi Arabia, and I understand that they're looking at Newcastle now, from what I can gather. So that's going to be another team that are going to be spending heavily that we're going to have to compete against. Jeez.
Dark days when we fall underneath Newcastle.
Oh no, never mind. Listen, Wayne, thank you very much for being wonderful. We've got to keep going. Loads more callers trying to get through here. We're going to go to Wayne, absolute legend there. Give us a call 0345 111 7625. We've got Wayne on the line. We've got Dan on the line. How you doing, Dan? You all right?
Dan?
Hey guys, you alright?
Good to speak to you, Dan. So what did you make of that then? Tranmere, we beat them 6-0.
In terms of the game and what did we learn or anything, I mean, literally nothing. We learned that Manchester United are better than a struggling League One side, which tells you absolutely nothing. In terms of players coming on, somebody mentioned about Chong coming on. I mean, what does that matter? The guy's not signed a contract and he's leaving. Yeah. So I mean, we have to put somebody in our squad that doesn't even want to be at the club. So it tells you everything you need to know about and I mean, the team that we played is pretty much the strongest team we can actually play at this moment in time. So what did we learn? Absolutely nothing. We learned more in the game against Burnley, which was absolutely shocking. I mean, that's for me, that was one of the lowest points I've had as watching as a United fan. It was so bad. It was just absolutely shocking. We ran out of ideas about 15 minutes before the end and just started shooting at people and hoping it would ping off them and maybe deflect and go in the net and stuff. It was really poor. And just following on from the last caller, and I mean, it says something when talking about the Bruno Fernandes or whoever else or somebody else. We're sat in fifth. If the owners, if the club at all had any ambition to actually get in the top four, if we'd have actually slapped down the money that they wanted about a week ago and bought Fernandes, who knows, maybe against Burnley it could have been the difference. That would have been a result, propelled us closer to getting in that top four and then actually going on and doing it. But rather than do that, they're dragging it out. We might actually get it done at 9:45 on deadline day. Yep. And it's too late now. So it's like they're clearly showing that there's no it's not like we're sat mid-table nowhere near and it's not going to happen. Yeah. So why wouldn't you? We're about as good as all the teams that are around us who keep failing, So why wouldn't you go out and get that one extra player, even just one extra player that might be that difference that just gets you over the line and gets you into that top four? Because I think we all know that another year, if we don't get in that top four this year, again, it's the players we can attract, just that everything around the club it means that it feels like it's going down and not up, despite what. And another quick point about Ollie is, you can put up with some stuff, but it's the times when he's come out and like, you want him to be a bit angry and you want him to be a bit annoyed and just say, I mean, he doesn't have to single out people. He can include himself and just say, look, this isn't good enough. It wasn't good enough and we need to be better. But it all just seems like it's too positive. It's just like, tell it as it is. I mean, we keep hearing these things about how you don't know what he's like behind closed doors and all that. Well, okay, maybe we don't, but for me, it's hard to believe. I don't think he's got that nature in him, really. Yeah. And I don't think it's not really worked with the team, where it did at first. They all seem to be all up and all happy about it when it was going well, but it just feels like people need a shake-up. But ultimately, the main point is that talking about bringing in Pochettino, whoever, the players aren't good enough. You've watched them against Burnley. It was absolutely shocking. They're just void of any ideas of what to do. I don't know what they do on the training pitch each week, because these players, it's like if somebody plays the ball long, somebody's come short. If somebody plays it short, somebody goes long. It's like it's the very first time you've all played with each other. Do you know, like even when you look at, like, I know this is like the teams like near the bottom and stuff, and you can say, well, yeah, that their plan is just to knock it to this guy, knock it to that guy, and then knock it long, and then somebody heads it on, and you get a goal or whatever. But it seems like they've got a set plan that they revert to when things aren't going right, or they're in trouble. And when there's similar things for us, I couldn't tell you what our tactic, what our plan is. It just seems to be, go out there, lads, and just do your best. Yeah,
the identity of what a United team might be. Listen, Dan, we've got so many calls to get through, Dan, but you're a legend for giving us your time and having a chat with us on the fan channel. Is Full Time Devils. Hit subscribe, hit like on the video for us. We're going to go and speak to, got so many calls to go through. Thomas is on the line. How you doing, Thomas?
Hey, Thomas.
Oh, come on.
Oh, wait, no. Stevie's on the line. Sorry, Stevie.
Hello.
All right, Stevie.
Stevie, that's why you're fuming, weren't you? I got your name wrong. Come on. Stevie. Sorry, Stevie. Call you out there, mate. Stevie. I don't know where I got Thomas from. Talk to us then about Manchester United.
Right, first of all, I've noticed a lot of you callers are not really talking about this result.
True.
6-0. I know they're a struggling team, but we can't forget what they've just done to Watford. They were 3-0 down. Came back and beat Watford. Watford are a top flight team. They've been in the top flight for a while now. So I mean, let's not count out what we've actually just done. We've come to a side who are struggling. Yes, agreed. But look at the state of the pitch. I could walk over to my local park and have a better pitch there. United don't play on pitches like that week in, week out. So for that alone was against us. I think certain individual performances I want to point out, because everybody hates this player, but for the last 2 games, I think he's been one of our strongest players. I'm going to point out Phil Jones.
Wow.
I am. No, I am. Do you know what? About 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was on a chat with all my friends, and I said Phil Jones needs to be shot like a limp horse. He needs to be taken around the back of the paddocks. And then I saw his name against Burnley. I thought, oh Christ, what's going to happen here? And was it? Sorry, not Burnley. Was he on against Burnley?
Pretty sure he played against Burnley.
And do you know what? He has been one of the strongest defenders. The 2 goals against Burnley, who was at fault?
I thought De Gea shouldn't have got beaten, one of them.
Yeah, of course. Maguire, he got the drop put on him.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The game before that, whose fault was one of the goals? It was De Gea. Maguire. Again, so that's 3 goals in the last 2 games, 2 big games we've had in the Premier League, and Maguire has messed up.
Yeah, is that not just making sure that Maguire's not really pulling his weight? Not that Phil Jones is good.
No, of course not. I'm not saying Phil Jones is the outstanding man of the year. Absolutely not. But at the same time, the questions I want to be asking: Maguire's price tag, is that just because he's English and because we're a cash cow?
Pretty much.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it's pretty much, Steve.
How has he managed to get the armband is a question I'd like to ask. There are so many more players. I'd say there's a few players ahead of him. I'm sorry, but there is.
De Gea is one of them.
Okay.
I'm not too sure. I wouldn't have De Gea. De Gea hasn't got the sort of the character. The only time you ever see De Gea getting angry was the other week against Liverpool, and he's usually quite a relaxed person. Maguire, for me, always screamed captain when they signed him, and I agree they overpaid for him. I personally would have liked Marcus Rashford to be captain. I was very happy when he had it against Man City. But the Phil Jones and Maguire. Phil Jones has had a career out of calamity, and you've got to give Maguire a little bit of space over 3 weeks. It's his first year in a new team, and it is a hefty price tag to live up to. And I don't know, I didn't see the same Phil Jones that you've seen over the last couple of weeks, but I respect your view.
Yeah, cheers, Stevie, for your call, mate. It's Full-Time Devils. It's your phone in. You've got about 5 minutes left, so we're going to rattle through some of these. We've got Mohammed on the line. How you doing, Mohammed? You all right?
Mohammed?
Yeah, mate, how you doing? Right?
Yeah, good to speak to you, mate. What do you want to talk about today? It's a 6-0 win against Tranmere.
Nah, I don't want to talk about that.
What other team wins 6-0 and no one wants to talk?
I'm not like the last caller. I just want to get straight into it, man.
Go for it.
I think, Ed Wood, I just want to say Ed Woodward is basically, he's like a man, he's like a man who just, he hasn't done his job. And a man who hasn't done his job is just like it's like a horse with a broken leg. They're both useless.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So what were you saying? Just Ed Woodward's not gonna. Unfortunately, I don't think Ed Woodward's going anywhere.
I think he is, mate. Within a year or two, I think the Glazers, looking at this January transfer window, they're not seeming to be spending money. I think within the next 2 years, they're going to definitely sell. They're definitely going to sell. That's why they're spending much money.
What do you think the Glazers are going to sell the club within 2 years?
I think over the last 2 years, in the next 2 years, they're going to sell it. But if you look at the last 4 transfer windows, 5, they've been spending less money apart from the Maguire. I think they're going to definitely sell the club, man. I can't wait. But to who? That's the problem. We've got a lot of protests at the moment with the United fans. Yep. But what's all this protest for? Who's going to realistically buy the club apart from the Saudis? And to be honest, I'm not even a fan of the Saudis. I feel like our club's being taken over. Like, you just got a lot of people, taking over. When you go to a game, you see a lot of people from all over the world. It's not necessarily a bad thing. You got a club owned by, different people. But I think it's time, a lot of people protest.
Yeah.
Cheers, Mohammed.
You think you're going to get the Glazers out, and that's Mohammed saying. And Mohammed, thank you very much for your call, mate. One final call before we wrap things up today on Full-Time Devils. You got Fancams on the way from Tranmere. We're going to go to Mohsin. How you doing, Mohsin?
Hi, Mo.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Mo. Let's talk about United. You're a final caller on today's Full-Time Devils phone in. What do you want to say, mate?
I just want to talk about the fall of United, how we're crumbling. We're going to be the next AC Milan. How from top to bottom we're not fully structured. Like, for example, the owners and Ed Woodward, they're not doing very good. Like, the owners are pumping money from the club. Also, Ed Woodward, he doesn't know nothing about football. All he knows about commercial revenues, trying to get money out of the club. And I think we should appoint a director of football who can manage the transfers, that someone that's coming in and out. And I also want to talk about Solskjaer as well, who's out of depth in his tactics. He only has one style of play, which is all counter-attack. And when we have the ball, if a team gives us the ball and they sit back, now what are we going to do? So he's out of depth of his tactics, and he doesn't know what he's doing. Also, in this January transfer window, we need to make a few signings just to strengthen the team up. Okay, we're out with McTominay and Rashford, and also the midfield, with Matic in there and Fred. Who else are we going to play alongside with them? So yeah, I think United are they're very far off of being a top 2 club. Like, look at Liverpool, they're very well structured, very run well as well. They run good as well. Also Man City as well, they run good.
Yep.
I think we need to get a manager with experience who knows what he's doing, that has got a clear vision or plan. Like, for example, today, I don't get where was Gomez today. Gomez, I don't get why wasn't he playing. We were playing League One Tranmere Rovers, who were 21st in the league. and we pulled out a strong team against the 20, and we won them 6-0. I think we're going to face. I think we should enjoy this moment, because I think on Wednesday we're going to be back to reality where we get smashed by City, and then we're going to realise as well.
Back to reality, Mo. What final words? What final words, Mo? Was our last caller, leaving us on a downer? Who's your man of the match today, Mo?
Man of the match, I
Tranmere's keeper.
I think Lingard had a good game today. I think he was in the game. I think, most of the players in our team, they find the level that they're at. I think that League One of Phil Jones. I don't get how a transfer with Phil Jones. I don't get how the hell he's in the club. We took our Smalling, one of the best defenders we had for the past 3 years. I know he's had one or two games off, but on his day, he's one of the best defenders in our team. I don't get how can we get rid of him. If we can get rid of taking him to Roma, we should just give Phil Jones. I remember Phil Jones was linked to Newcastle in the summer. I don't get why we should just given him.
Take him, Phil. Well, thank you very much. Also, another down to maybe, and Young got an assist in his first game as Inter Milan.
Inter Milan, though, how many players have they signed? This is a frustration.
Inter Milan have got like half the United squad and they're doing all right.
Yeah,
wild, innit? Maybe it's not the players that the problem. I want to thank everyone for giving us a call. People saying, who picked the callers? Listen, anyone who calls gets through. We try and work through as many people as we possibly can. There's some people can't get through at the minute because we've got a time. It's done now. We've
get ready for next time.
Let's go. Yeah, next time. We've got the derby coming up. We've also got a big game.
Wolves.
Chelsea and Wolves. Wolves, Chelsea. And then you got Europa League here back in action. If you want to call and talk about United, 0345 111 7625. The number is along the bottom of your screen. Our kid. Cheers, man. It's
Thanks
been a wonderful
Phil
wonderful
Jones,
day.
man.
Phil Jones.
Phil Jones.
I'm going to dip the mic. Sure, not going to be able to hear us. I'll see you soon.